Welcome to another stage analysis video. It's Sunday the 25th of August 2024. I'm going to start this weekend's video with a look through the significant weekly bars before getting on to the watch the stocks, some of the market breadth and all the other regular content that we do each weekend. So starting off this week with RBLX, which as you can see has been going sideways for a very long time, since back in 2022 as it came off from the IPO. If we go on to stock charts for a bit of a longer term view from the IPO, so it was back in March 2021 it IPO'd. It's still 58% or so below that IPO week close at the moment. Come back onto the stage analysis technical attributes chart here on the website. You can see if we broaden out this base, you had an original selling climax, automatic rally, but the initial range was very large. So if we actually look through time here, we can see this level through here has been tested multiple times now. So we got 5 or 6 or 7 actual tests across there. So if we draw a structure through here, you can see this is the major structure of the last few years, and over the last few months we've had a few pivot highs through these areas here, so which have now made a potential stage 2 breakout point. But as with the attempt to move into stage 2 through this area here, it's still within a broader structure. So while it's technically a stage 2 breakout attempt, so it's above its 200-day moving average and breaking through multiple pivot highs in the near term and over the last quarter or so, it's still within this broader structure, and this broader structure is very close to the current range. So realistically we'd call it a breakout in late stage 1 still at this point, even though it is technically a stage 2 breakout. But if it does start to move through this 47-48 area, then that would potentially be a clearer break into stage 2. And with such a large base structure, that would then project it much higher back up towards that original IPO level. You can see the stage analysis technical attribute score has risen over the last 3 weeks from a score of a 3 up to a maximum 10 at the moment. And the Mansfield relative strength 0 line has crossed above the 0 line in the last week, so which it's been below for the majority of 2024. So again, if we come into the chart in here, you can quickly have a look at the daily here. So these local pivots through here, as I said, the recent levels to look out for, just starting to move through that a little bit more clearly. So while it's still under longer term resistance, it is making a stage 2 breakout attempt, as you can see above the various moving averages, and that's a relative strength breaking back above that 0 line there. So come back. Next up, look at CAVA. So not many people getting excited about this one with its strong volume this week. Some of the highest volume that it's had, not the highest volume ever per stock charts on here. I've seen other people say it's the highest volume ever, but can see 2 higher volume bars on stock charts data, so we'd have to look at it on different data services. But it is continuation breakout attempt after a big run. So as you can see, it's already had a huge move since the low up to this point, over 300%, and it was already up 230 odd percent from the previous run. So this is a continuation move. So at this point here, big volume moves after a big run can sometimes be a buying climax potentially. So while high volume breakouts can be very good short-term swing trades, they can sometimes be short-term climax points where it may need to consolidate for a while, start to go sideways or pull back in. So if it does, levels to watch, we want to see it come back below this high volume bar here. So basically just around the 100 level or below. You wouldn't want to see it come much back below that, but ideally you don't really want to see it come much back past the middle of this bar. You want to see it continue and consolidate at higher levels here. Again, look at the quick daily chart on this one. Highest volume on the daily chart, at least for a long time here. You can see the continuation break, and if we look at it on the 3 ATR bands, you can see it's a little bit extended in the short term above that plus 3 ATR level, so it does need to consolidate and come back in for a little bit. It's outside of its normal range. Zoom, another one this one's had a huge stage 4 decline for a long time since it topped out back in 2021, 2020 to early 2020. Nope, it was during 2021. Started to roll over and break down into stage 4. I think this move this week with the huge jump up over 20%. It's a potential squeeze event after there was a high profile fund manager that Cathie Wood that's sold out of it completely this week, I believe I've seen online. So a bit of a news driven move potentially, and we have seen a few other of the 2021 previous 2020-2021 stars having a little bit of a bump this week, like Roku, and there was another one as well. I'm going to try and remember off the top of my head, but you can see again big base structure on this one for a while. It's been going sideways for most of the last year and a half to 2 years now. So this is a spring attempt from the lows after a shakeout below the bottom of the range, some heavy volume. So if it can power through, get back up into this area, then could potentially start to move into stage 2. Some may say it's technically stage 2 at this point already. If we look at it on a daily chart, it is above the 200-day moving average. Hasn't quite cleared these pivots. It cleared a local pivot through here, so you could technically argue it's in early stage 2 again. But once again, with such near-term overhead resistance to deal with, potentially would still call this a stage 1, late stage 1 breakout attempt within the range. So for example, if we look at this on a Ichimoku cloud, just see some overhead resistance just starting to, because of the length of the base structure, just starting to clear some of that overhead resistance. But you can see there are some near-term levels that have only just started to clear, so potentially this has still got overhead resistance to deal with here. But with the big volume, if that does follow through, it gets above them quickly, then it would technically be back into stage 2. So GDS, this one come up on the stage analysis watch list multiple times as it was moving out through this area into early stage 2. So now making a continuation breakout on strong relative volume. You can see the strongest volume it's had for quite a long time back in 2022, where it had that little selling climax and rallied back up again before rolling back over once more. So strongest volume in a while, and you can see the clear change of character compared to the last few years here. So 2021 all the way through to early 2024, it was in a deep stage 4 decline. Again, if we get a Ichimoku cloud on the chart here, where are we? Ichimoku clean. See, just starting to clear some of that longer term overhead resistance. After such a long and deep stage 4 decline, it takes a while to start to get through that. So potentially could be looking for it to develop through this area in the coming months.